On we go down the endless road. How can we know what tomorrow holds? I know this life gets so heavy, so I'll carry it with you. And I know you'll carry me too. And we'll be home.
Hey everyone, in today's video we are dabbling a little in summer decorating. I have slowly been changing a few things here and there in my home, and I thought I would share a few simple and affordable ideas you could use to start bringing the summer season into your home. Let's go ahead and get started. I thought it would be fun to share ideas for summer decorating focused around your 5 senses. I split the summer decorating ideas into 2 parts, so today is part 1. Let's get started with our sense of touch and talk about cozy textiles for summer. I am loving this soft buttercream yellow for summer. Lately, I have been bringing in just a hint of color here and there. I especially love how cheerful and bright this subtle, muted yellow makes my spaces feel. For summer, I picked up a few new pillow covers, a blanket, and then a couple thrifted dishes, and that was pretty much it. I enjoy working with pieces that I already have and using them in different spaces or mixing them with other pieces to create a whole new look. I like to consider other textiles outside of blankets and pillow covers, like these crocheted table runners and doilies, as well as some dish towels and napkins. These are perfect styling pieces to tuck into places for a layer of color, texture, and pattern. All of these textiles share the same buttercream yellow, creating a cohesive feeling in my home. I have mentioned this before, but a go-to combination for styling pillows on my couch is usually a solid mixed with a floral pattern, stripes, or gingham. I thought this blanket with the gingham and the bows was so adorable, but if those aren't your thing, a plain gingham blanket would be pretty as well. I love to mix in playful pieces like this into my spaces. It makes the space feel inviting and lighthearted. My overall goal for summer decorating is to make my home feel light and bright but still cozy. I love to bring in as much of the outdoors as I can by incorporating more natural and fresh elements into my home wherever I can. If you are new to my channel, I do have a small fresh cut flower garden, and this year my garden over doubled in size, and I am looking forward to sharing all the beautiful blooms in my garden this year and how I bring them into my home. This little stool I happened upon at a local antique market, and the price at just $30, in my opinion, was incredible for such a piece like this. It is perfect here next to this chair for a little plant and a cup of tea or coffee. Now we are focusing on our sense of sight, and I wanted to chat about how to bring in some character and charm to your home for the summer through the use of patterns. I love things in my home to go together but not necessarily match, which is really the essence of creating a collected home. Everything goes together, but it does not necessarily have to match. Mixing pattern brings in such character and interest to your space. All of these dishes I am sharing here are thrifted. The most I spent was on the platter I shared at the very beginning of this section, which was $8. I collect my dishes one dish at a time and usually buy only 1 or 2 in a particular pattern. I rarely buy more than 4 dishes in a pattern because I really like to put different patterns together. I enjoy changing out some of my dishes in my cabinets and on my antique dish rack for the different seasons, but to limit what I store, I only allow myself to buy 1 or 2 in a pattern. I love to look for quirky little pieces for my home, like those little strawberry plates that I shared at the very beginning of this section. Pieces like this add so much visual interest to help your home to feel unique and collected. I'm never in a hurry to find pieces for my home. The right ones will find me when they are supposed to. This colander with the beautiful flora pattern came from a friend of mine over on Instagram, and I will link her account in the description for you if you are interested. She does have live sales on some of her vintage items, and I picked this one up from her. Next, we are going to use some of the elements that I have shared and style my kitchen table in 2 different ways. I have a yellow tablecloth here that I laid down the middle of the table for a more casual, lived-in look, sort of like a table runner. Depending on your needs, you could certainly style this without a tablecloth at all. Next, I have a woven vase with some green peonies, and then this amazing antique colander I found at a flea market several months ago. I added in some tissue paper to the bottom so that everything didn't sink down, and then I layered in some greenery and faux lemons. Green and yellow are the dominant colors I wanted to use for the beginning of summer, and then I might fade out the green and bring in some blue, but I absolutely love the cheerfulness of the yellow in my home. When I do bring in color into my home, I choose colors that are muted. This keeps things feeling soft and relaxed without being too overpowering. For the next table styling, I unfolded the yellow tablecloth, and normally I would iron it, so please pardon the wrinkles here. I then added in a second thrifted tablecloth, but made it more of a runner down the middle of the table. And again, if you are someone who uses their table all of the time, you might not include the tablecloths, but we often sit at our large island, so sometimes I like to add in an extra layer of coziness to this little corner. I thrifted this beautiful green bowl for just $6. I am adding it to the middle of the table with these flowers and some real lemons. To finish the grouping, I added this thrifted cream and sugar set with this beautiful floral pattern. I just wanted to mention this is just the start of my summer decorating. I am trying out all of my ideas and working with what I have and figuring out how I want everything to flow together. I always like to share a bunch of different ideas with you as the season starts to change. My home is always evolving depending on our needs and my creative process. I thought I would also put together a kitchen island styling. I am keeping the hydrangea and the pitcher, but adding in the colander with some fresh lemons. For some pattern, I brought in this crocheted dish towel. I briefly shared a version of my fireplace mantle in a previous video, but I wanted to give you some details. I did share a reel over on Instagram on how I created this seed packet garland, but it is incredibly simple. I found those seed packets at a local antique store for just a couple of cents, and I used some twine and ribbon and just added them with some clothespins to my mantle, and I absolutely love this look for early summer. Finally, I briefly wanted to talk about scent. When I transition my home from season to season, I like to consider scents for my home. These 2 essential oils, peony and lilac, are 2 of my favorites for this time of year. As many of you know, I am obsessed with the lilacs, which is why I love this essential oil and the dish soap as well. I do love a good candle, but also enjoy the calm and peaceful feeling the diffuser gives to my kitchen. Before we get into cozy chats, I wanted to update you with a small change to my upload schedule. My new videos will now be released on Wednesdays instead of Sundays. I am hoping this change will give me just a little bit more time with my family on the weekends. Since it was just Mother's Day this past Sunday, in this week's Cozy Chats, I thought I would share just a little bit about my mom, grandma, and Nana. My grandma passed away several years ago, but I think about her all of the time. I get my love for gardening from her. She had a beautiful, huge garden. I also get my love for birds from her, which is why you see them sprinkled throughout my home. They make me think of her. My Nana is an amazing lady too. She made the most delicious meals. Her spaghetti and red velvet cake were some of my favorites. I have several of her old cookbooks and recipe box in my kitchen, which you may have seen featured in some of my videos. And my mom, she is my biggest fan. Always commenting on my videos here on YouTube, supporting everything that I do, and she is just the best grandma to my girls. I know Mother's Day can be a day of mixed emotions for some, but I do hope that you enjoyed being with and honoring those that you love. In next week's video, we will continue to dive into simple and budget-friendly summer decorating ideas. I have a few ideas for considering the sounds and tastes of summer, and then a few other simple little projects and ideas I wanted to share with you. As always, I hope that you got some ideas and inspiration for your home from this video. If you love thrifting, easy DIY projects, and affordable decorating tips, I hope that you will subscribe and join me here every Wednesday. Thank you all for being here, and I will see you next week.